friends, Shay here. So today we are here with another list of recommendations for you. Today, instead of LGBTQIAP+ books, we're going to do that for manga. So these are some of my favorites. Some of them have appeared in other recommendation videos, others haven't. But this is the list of things that I'm loving and recommending a lot right now. So let's go ahead and dive into this list. So first things first is probably one that will surprise some people because I haven't talked about it a lot. And that is Wild Beast Forest House. I have read the 2 physical volumes and then I was so excited to finish it that I ran and read the rest of it on Webtoon, which is where I believe the series lives. I can't remember if it was there or Tapas. I can't remember, one of them. And I really, really enjoy this. This is essentially about a cat that had a very cruel owner, and they escaped from the owner, and ended up seeking refuge at the forest house where humanoid creatures can go and live and be safe and be protected from humans that would harm them. This is about him reuniting with the guy on the cover who he had saved previously, but he always felt indebted to him because it helped him feel strong and get to the point where he could leave. And the way their relationship builds is slow and sure, and I really liked the slow burn of it all. This is only going to be 3 physical volumes. The last physical volume comes out later this year, but this is a really sweet series. It is steamy, so if you're not into the steaminess, go ahead and pass on this one or read it digitally, because you would have to pay more to get the steamy scenes, from what I remember going on, where there was a not safe for work version and then a safe for work version. So if you want to pass on all the steam, maybe look at that option, but I really enjoyed it with the steam. I felt like it enhanced the relationships because there was a lot of dialogue in those moments that helped just reaffirm how they really feel about each other, and it worked well for me. Next up is a series that I finished recently, and that is I Married My Female Friend. This is a sapphic relationship where 2 best friends get married in a marriage of convenience because one of our characters is working on an article about being in an LGBT relationship, like on a series of articles. And so her and her best friend agree to get married. The best friend obviously has been pining for her for a long time, but this is about them seriously looking at their relationship, whether it's going to work or not. There's time where they spend apart and are trying to figure things out. It's, again, a very short series. This is by the same creator that does Donuts Under a Crescent Moon, which I also enjoy. I do like this one slightly more. So if you liked Donuts Under a Crescent Moon, I would recommend picking this one up. And anything they want to bring over by this creator, I'm going to be all for. But this one's really sweet. I really, really enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend it. Yes, it kind of has a weird setup, but I promise the relationship is really sweet and full of discovery, and I really think it's a great series. Next, I have Cherry Magic. 30 years of virginity can make you a wizard. So everybody's probably heard of this series by now, but this is a series about a man who just turned 30, and then he realizes that he can hear other people's thoughts. They chalk this up to the fact that he hasn't lost his virginity, and he finds out that his coworker has all sorts of dirty, lusty thoughts about him in this way. And so he starts to look at him differently, and the way the relationship builds and the way that the reveal of the powers happens and how things change once the powers are not at play is really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It's a really fun time. Yes, it's a little bit of a shtick, but I think the relationship is great. We end up having another couple that we're very invested in as the series goes on, which is his really good friend, and the same thing happens. And that relationship looks very different. So I really like the series. It's a longer ongoing one. I think there's 13 volumes out physically, and I believe it's still ongoing in Japan, so they're kind of slow to come out, but I highly recommend the series. It's a good time. The next one I have talked about a lot on this channel, so if you know my channel, you probably have seen this one before, and that is She Loves to Cook and She Loves to Eat. This is a sapphic relationship between 2 people who start out as neighbors. One heroine here loves to cook, but most of the recipes are for at least 2 people, and sometimes more. And so she would usually take the leftovers over to this neighbor of hers, and they start to have a friendship. It blossoms into more. This is a really sweet relationship at its core. You're confronting a lot of things about being queer in Japan. You're confronting about, stereotypical norms, what a lot of people face when coming out, and how families react and how family dynamics might not look how most people expect them to look. It's really interesting. It's really cool. I really, really love it. And I'm thoroughly invested in them as a couple. It currently has 5 volumes and is ongoing. I'm not 100% sure how much longer it's going to be. It kind of feels like it's circling around and wrapping up a little bit. We probably have at least 2 more volumes, maybe 3. I don't think it's going to be a crazy long one, but I'm really invested in it, and I love these 2 so very much. The next one is a new love, and most of you probably know what this is by now, and that is the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. So this is about 2 teens who, one is the popular girl at school, and one is the shy girl in the corner. When the shy girl in the corner is not at school, she's in a bunch of like grungy rock kind of attire, and she works at her uncle's record shop. And popular girl ends up coming in, and they end up bonding over music. And so she thinks it's a guy because when she's at work, she's always got her hoodie up and a mask on and all those kinds of things just for some anonymity. And so people don't think certain things about her at school. And when she finds out who it actually is, it's really sweet, and I really love the direction it goes. It's got 2 volumes out physically right now. I will be just buying and loving every volume as it comes out right now. It is such a fun series. If you're looking for something fun, this also got picked up for an anime. I don't know when we're getting it, but it has this really fun, like, green undertone to all of it. It's really sweet. I really, really love it. I highly recommend it. And it's so precious. I just love it. The next one I have here is The Moon on a Rainy Night. This is another high school sapphic story in which we're dealing with 2 teens. One played piano when really young, but she's been losing her hearing slowly as she gets older. And so she doesn't play anymore. And this is about one of her fellow classmates. That's the word I was looking for. One of her classmates who ends up taking lessons from her mom. And it's about their friendship blooming into a relationship. It's really sweet. It's really cute. I really like the discussions that are being had here. They are very sweet together. And this has 6 volumes out currently, I believe. And I believe it's wrapping up. I don't think it's going to be too much longer. But yes, really love the series. Happily enjoying it. I do think the losing hearing representation is well represented because it's all about, sometimes she wears her hearing aid to help, sometimes she doesn't, and it's really fun. I really think it's great, and I would recommend it. I think it's wonderful. The next one I have here is Monster and the Beast. This is a really sweet, very interesting story where it's a male-male relationship. One is a very much beast-like being, and one is a human who considers himself a monster. The way that their relationship works is really interesting. They end up helping each other out in so many ways, and the way that they come together as a romantic relationship is quite sweet. It is steamy, so if that is not, once again, not your thing, there's plenty of options on this list that aren't, and I really appreciate what this series is doing and the discussions it's having about how outside appearance doesn't matter. You can look perfectly normal, but not act perfectly normal. It's just a very interesting dichotomy and dynamic. And I really just love the way that they love each other. They're both a bit older as well, which is always very nice to see in manga. So again, this is a 4-volume series. This is the final volume. I believe we're getting a spin-off series about this coming out, though. So if there's more, I will definitely invest in more because I really enjoyed what was going on. So the next one I have here, again, shouldn't surprise anybody because a lot of people think of me when they think of this series, as well as some other friends in the community, and that is The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter, also known as Bean Counter. This is one of my favorite boys' love stories right now, in which we're following a man who's isekai'd into this world by accident, There was a girl who was basically struggling on the street, and he grabs hold of her to like help her, and he ends up transported into this world. So he's kind of a bonus, but the magic in the air slowly, like the magic in the world is poisoning him. The only way to cure it is like physical touch and affection. So one of the knights of the realm, essentially, one of the head knights, captains, I forget the terminology that they use here. But anyways, he's one of the leaders of one of the particular troops of knights, kind of takes him on as his personal like task and takes care of him. And it ends up being this really interesting relationship because there's a lot more going on in this world on the political side of things. So it's very politically charged, but it's also very sweet and very romantic at the same time. So it's everything you would want in a fantasy romance, where you're getting the politics of the new world that you're in, and you're getting all of the sweet romantic things. I'm just thoroughly invested, and I will be until it's over, and I will be sad when it's over because I love this series. Yes, the title is absolutely long and obnoxious, but I like this one compared to other translations, because the other translations, instead of being counter, it says like corporate slave and things like that. So this just reads a whole lot better, because there's definitely not a captor-captive slave situation going on here. So anyways, highly recommend. Would tell you to pick it up if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, you must be new here. Hi, I'm Shay. The next one I have here is My Love Mixup. This is a very sweet 9-volume series about a teenage boy who borrows an eraser from his crush. This thing in Japan is you would write your crush's name on your eraser, and as you would erase it, like, I don't remember the full thing, but anyways, writing your crush's name on your eraser is a big thing. Anyways, he had borrowed this eraser and he drops it, and it comes out of the slipcovering and there's a name on it, and it's not his, so he's a little sad. But he realizes it's the guy next to him, and he's the one that picked it up. And so the guy asks, hey, is this your eraser? And he's like, yes, it's mine, because he thought he was protecting his crush. The crush actually has a crush on somebody else, and it wasn't that guy. And so it's a comedy of errors, kind of meet cute. And it's about the two boys actually exploring a relationship together as they get to know one another. So it starts as friendship. It blossoms into more. It's really sweet. And it's all about figuring out what you want out of life and what makes you happy, and whether being with a person is right for you, and whether their gender matters. And it's a really great series. Again, 9 volumes, nice and short. Yes, it is high school shenanigans as well, but I think the way it all plays out is really, really great. And it's one of my favorites to recommend to people, because it's an easy entry point, because it's not long, and it's also just very sweet. You don't have to worry about more mature themes. So it's wonderful. The next one I have here might also surprise some people, and that is My Secret Affection. This is a 2-volume series in a world where the stereotypical norm of a relationship is swapped. So it is commonplace to be in a same gender relationship where these two childhood friends end up having crushes on each other. And so they're trying to navigate society in a heterosexual relationship as opposed to a homosexual relationship in a world where homosexual relationships are the norm. So it's very interesting. I think it's a really great look at how an LGBT teen would feel when you're normally heterosexual. So I think it's a great, if you don't understand queerness, I think this is a great series to explore, to kind of maybe emotionally understand better. But either way, I love seeing a queer normative world, and I do wish it was a bit longer. I felt like it was rushed. I don't know if it got canceled or what. I want to say it got canceled, but I ended up really enjoying it, and I would happily pick up another series in this world because I think it's really interesting. Next, this won't surprise anybody. It's this one. I'm not going to say its name, but in this series, essentially, there is a island and an archipelago of islands where every 4 years, the 8 clans send a champion to fight to be the leader for the next 4 years. And yes, they fight with that appendage. It's funny, it's quirky, it's got some really sweet moments to it, and it's weirdly naive because on this island they're very like secluded, but one of the heroes goes and he goes out into the world to train, as you would say, and so he learns a lot more about desire and things like that, and it ends up upping his game in how they fight. So with that said, that's all I'm going to say. I've done a lot of videos and talks about this when it first came out. I'll probably link one of them in the corner. But yes, this is a fun series. It's quirky, it's bonkers, it's 2 volumes. Have a good time. The next one I have here is an independently published series that you can buy in 1 volume just from the author's website, and that is Vampire Blood Drive. This is a sapphic relationship with a human and a vampire. I really had a great time with this one. This one was a recommendation from Maeve over at Maeve Ever Reading. I will leave her linked down below. And this one is really great. It has that like Betty Boop era but noir feel to it. And it's really fun. I really, really liked it. So our characters' names are Bunny and Velvet. And it's all about a world where people willingly go and donate to the vampires. But she ends up finding she's very attracted to Velvet. Velvet is also very attracted to her. And things ensue from there. Again, very sweet, very cute. I absolutely love and adore it. So I would highly recommend checking this one out and supporting this author because this is fantastic. And also the printing is very, very good. So please go check out Vampire Blood Drive if you haven't. And then last but certainly not least, I didn't rank any of these, by the way. These are just great ones, is Hate Me But Let Me Stay. I've read the first 3 volumes that are out just this year. And this is a really interesting Omegaverse series. This is the only Omegaverse on the list as far as I can tell. Yes, the only Omegaverse. And so it's about a man who essentially got raped as a teenager and he decided to keep the baby. So he's working and then he attends this mixer and one of the workers at the mixer realizes that this is his mate. And so he very much goes to pursue him. And things are interesting there. There is a little bit of an age gap here, but it's very well handled. I really enjoy all of it. As the series goes on, you have like years worth of time skips. So everyone's aging up a lot faster, which is progressing the story in a way that's very interesting. And again, I really, really love it. So I would highly recommend checking out the series if you haven't. Okay, friends. So that is 13 series that I would highly recommend checking out if you haven't. If you are here just because you love me, leave me a rainbow emoji. And thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.